Everyone, welcome back to the conclusion of this Pentagon challenge that we have been running on the channel as a little mini series this week. Hopefully you've been enjoying it. We've already completed Africa with Supersport United. We moved to Asia, completed that journey with Kashima Antlers, over to Mexico with Club Necaxa, and in yesterday's video we won the Copa Liberatores with Brazilian side Atlético Mineiro. In today's video, we move to Europe to win the UEFA Champions League and complete this journey. But first of all, we had to find a job. With the last leg of this challenge being in Europe, I was hot property amongst some of the best clubs in the continent. We secured our first job interview with Aston Villa within 56 minutes of us applying for the gig, but followed that up with interviews at both Juventus and Marseille. But then, something huge happened. Liverpool sacked their manager Ange Postecoglou, and I had to apply. The interview was pretty straightforward, and days later I was offered the job and became the new Liverpool manager. On the field, things weren't too bad at the club as they're still in the Champions League and in contention for the Premier League, along with being in both domestic cups. However, it's off the field where they are really struggling. Not only are they in mountains of debt in terms of their bank balance, they have some of the most ridiculous player contracts I have ever seen. We have players like Oscar Gloku on an eye-watering £625k a week, along with goalkeeper James Trafford on £400,000 a week, just to name a few. So there's some serious work for me to do here. But it's not all doom and gloom, because Liverpool do have some of the best players in the game at their position. In the right back position, we have Iranian new gen Saeed Alami, who we can all agree is outstanding. And on the left wing, we have Portuguese superstar Edmar Gonella, who has physicals to die for. But as we join mid-season, we get straight into the action with our first game against Leicester City. This was a nice, comfortable introduction to the squad, as one of the most expensive players in the world of football, Oscar Gloku opened the scoring inside 10 minutes before Darwin Núñez added a quick-fire brace to see the game end 3-0. Meaning that the Hood era at Liverpool was well and truly underway. January saw some positive results for us as a club as we moved into the FA Cup 5th round and booked ourselves our first cup final appearance as we made it to Wembley to face Manchester United in the EFL Cup after beating Everton over 2 legs. We also secured a top 8 finish in the league phase of the Champions League with comfortable wins against Rangers from Scotland and AC Milan from Italy. However, January saw a huge transformation for us in terms of personnel as we had a massive clear out. 16 players left the club during this window, including 9 on permanent deals, to make us a total of £240 million. Notable outgoings included Darwin Núñez to AC Milan for £39 million, new-gen defensive midfielder Zaben, who joined Manchester City for £65 million. We also said goodbye to long-time servant Alexis McAllister, who joined Spurs for £8 million, and Milos Kerkez, who was sold to Inter Milan for £51 million. I then sold both Fernando Valdez and James Trafford for Real Madrid for a total of £75 million, but that saved us over £600,000 a week on player wages. And finally, we let Ibrahima Konate join Marseille on a free transfer to remove his massive wage from the club. But don't worry, we reinvested in the playing squad, bringing in Brazilian wonderkid striker Paulo Roberto Milano from Palmeiras, who I've wanted since I was back in Brazil. I followed that up with the defensive midfield additions of Sebastian Florenz from AC Milan and Luis Eduardo Gomez from Santos Laguna. Another one on my shortlist since my time in Mexico. And James Trafford's replacement in goal was Massimo Todaro, who joined us from Palermo, who saves us over £300,000 a week in that position. Those deals allowed us to really sort out the club's financial situation, as the club is still in the red somehow. So the new look Liverpool was in place, with Dominic Szoboszlai being the only recognised Liverpool face in the starting 11. Moving into February 2033, things are going great for us in all competitions, winning all 4 league games without conceding a goal and knocking Manchester City out of the FA Cup before playing that EFL Cup Final against Manchester United. It felt like we were in control of this game, twice taking the lead at Wembley, only to see United pull level, meaning the game would be settled via penalty shootout. But unfortunately for us, this is where club captain Trent Alexander-Arnold missed the goal entirely with his spot kick before Savio crashed his penalty off the outside of the post to see United lift the first piece of silverware of the year. After this, our performance in the league was a little bit hit and miss, but we did do enough to secure a 4th place finish in the Prem, meaning we will be playing Champions League football next season, if we needed it. Whilst we tasted defeat in the EFL Cup, the same couldn't be said for the FA Cup. After knocking out City in the 5th round, we pushed Tottenham and Derby County aside to set up an FA Cup final against Arsenal. And it was the Gunners who took the lead at Wembley through Rodrigo, but Ben Doak was able to pull us level just before half-time. The game remained deadlocked until Oscar Gloku scored the all-important goal in the 114th minute to see us secure our first trophy of our Liverpool reign. But I know you're all here for the Champions League, and I have to say it, this is one of the craziest knockout performances you have ever seen. We were drawn against Bayer Leverkusen in the round of 16 and faced a trip to Germany for that first leg. Despite being away from home, we dominated this one with Savio finding the breakthrough on the half-hour mark, but we were handed a little bit of a gut punch in the 91st minute as Junior Krupi outjumped our 6'6" centre-back with 19 jumping reach to make the game 1-1. But back at Anfield, I was still pretty confident of progressing. However, it was Leverkusen who took the lead on the night through Maximilian Bayer to get me a little bit twitchy. Luckily, that didn't last for long as Szoboszlai pulled us level just 5 minutes later. But despite hammering the German side, we couldn't score again through the rest of the 90 minutes and extra time to see the game decided via penalties. Both teams were scoring from the spot until David Nunes saw his penalty saved by the Leverkusen keeper, and then there's no better way for me to actually talk about this in the edit, so I'm just going to pass over to a clip of me on my live stream. What league you in? Nunes has just missed. Oh my god, he's missed. Oh my god, he's missed. Vega. Oh my god, no. No. Oh god, here it goes. What is happening? Botello on as a substitute. Scores. Horby, I don't know who you are, my man. We need a big save here. He's missed! They missed 3 in a row. W's. Yes! So we made it through by the skin of our teeth and had to face Arsenal at the quarter-final stage. The first leg was at the Emirates and it ended in a rare 0-0 draw, and then the power of Anfield fired us through in the second leg. We won 6-0 at Anfield, with Hernan Vega scoring an impressive hat-trick in a pure demolition job. After dismantling Arsenal, we were handed another all-English tie at the semi-final stage, as we would have to face Manchester City. The first leg was at the Etihad, where Eduardo Camavinga opened the scoring for City on the 15th minute, but Lloyd McNeil was able to pull us level just before half-time, heading home from a corner. After the break, we were handed a golden opportunity as former player Zaben, who I actually sold to City in January, deflected the ball into his own net to put us in front in the tie for the first time. However, that was pretty short-lived, as Tchouaméni scored just 2 minutes later to make it 2-2. But, much like the last round against Arsenal, Man City couldn't handle Anfield in the second leg. We ripped them to shreds on the night to secure a 4-0 win and comfortable passage through to the Champions League final at the first time of asking. It was PSG in the final who demolished the likes of AC Milan and Atletico Madrid to make it all the way to that final. The game was held at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff, the city that I actually live in, and the stage was set for this challenge to potentially end. And less than 10 minutes into that game, we had our breakthrough. Giant defender Lloyd McNeil leapt highest from a corner to nod us into the lead. Then early in the second half, we were awarded a penalty for a foul on Gloku, which Brazilian Paulo Roberto dispatched. Kylian Mbappe did pull a goal back for the French Giants, but the game was concluded in the 78th minute as Edmar Gonella scored our third of the game with a deflected effort that found its way into the back of the net. The save is complete! Completed with Liverpool, we were here for less than 6 months as we lift the Champions League trophy, boys and girls. Meaning, this Pentagon challenge is over. At this point, our career spans 6 teams across 5 continents and including a whopping 564 matches, winning 24 trophies in just 10 full seasons. And to boot, our manager attributes are now looking tasty to continue this story, as I've decided to actually turn this into a Glory Hunter challenge created by the amazing Dr. Benji, which we are doing live on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/HoodGamingUK. Come on over, check out the story as we continue this save. I really hope you've enjoyed this save, and obviously we will bring you the Glory Hunter that we are doing live on Twitch after this, because I think you're going to want to see it, because this is a very, very interesting universe that we've built up with all the new gens and the fact that we're 10 seasons into the future. If you have liked this video, please don't forget to smash a like on it so that you can see more of me from this channel, because it will appear in your sub boxes more. And if you haven't subbed, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. Until next time, guys, take care.